Hey guys, I thought I would take a little bit of time to make a video to take you through the next step of our research project process with the outline. The outline follows very naturally after the proposal and the annotated bibliography are completed. Essentially, when it comes to the outline, you're just taking the information that you developed in those sections and reorganizing them a little bit within the confines of these recommendations. And there are a couple spots where you might have to add a little bit more, or as you're kind of putting stuff in, you might realize you don't have everything. That's okay. That's part of what the outline is for. It helps you figure out what you've got and what you don't got. So the outline is very, very important, and it's a really good step to get us to the drafting process next. But let me just kind of take you through this outline. So this little template that I have here on Blackboard kind of tells you exactly what you have to have in the outline. Don't overthink this. Your task here with the outline is just to take the good information that you have and start filling it into these little bullets here. And you should plan to have about a sentence or so for each bullet just to kind of explain things out. And then you look for gaps. So like, for example, if you're filling out this outline, you start off with the topic focus. That's basically the background information. A lot of the same stuff you will have expanded upon with your proposal document. Just give me kind of a short version of that for the outline, and then you get into the recommendations, right? That's the part that we haven't fleshed out all the way yet, but the outline gives you a good opportunity to do it. Like I was saying before, it helps you to find the spots that you don't have all the way figured out. So like for recommendation 1, whatever it is, let's say it has something to do with automation, and your recommendation is going to be to resist automation all the way. And you found one really good source that talks about, what might be some of the benefits of resisting automation, and that's it. That's all you have here. And you go through and you fill in all the stuff besides that, and you're just kind of looking, and you're like, man, I've only got the one source for this. I've got 2 sources or 3 sources or more than that for the other recommendations. I've only got 1. That's not a good sign. And you would be right to think that, because it's not a good sign to have just one source, right? We want to do kind of triangulation. We want to prove that things are a good idea because we have multiple sources in there. So you might need to look for another source there. But I digress. In filling this out, you topic focus, you get into the recommendations, you explain how it's going to work. That's really your own brainstorming, your own kind of knowledge about that. Explain it in your own words for about a sentence or so. And then you get to the justification section. To prove that it's a good recommendation, I want some specifics. The specifics are going to be what I really grade the outline on. Do you have a quote or a fact or something like that from one of your sources? Put it in there, put it in quotation marks if it's something that you are quoting, and then tell me what article it comes from, which is kind of a form of citing, right? That'll help us when it comes to drafting, the more that you get this down. So you give me that for as many facts and quotes as you have. Should shoot to have at least 2 per recommendation, though the more is always better. Then you do kind of an analysis of the strengths. What are the strengths of this recommendation? You do an analysis of the weaknesses. Both of those are probably going to be mostly your own brainstorming, your own thought processes, and that's good, because that means you're doing a good mixture of the sources and the explanations and analysis. That's what you do for recommendation 1. You do the same thing for recommendation number 2. How is that one going to work? Why is it a good recommendation? Well, these sources say it's a good recommendation. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? Same thing for recommendation number 3. You have to have 3 recommendations. And then you need to make sure that you're, kind of spreading your sources between the recommendations. And then there's a couple other little pieces to our report, but I'm not going to require you to do that for the outline. Just kind of give me some good detailed thoughts for these recommendations, and the rest will come pretty well after that. So that's all I've got for you here with this outline. It's a very simple document if you've done the parts that come prior to it, because you're really just taking that and reworking it a little bit. And yeah, you have to, think through a couple new things maybe, but it just kind of continues the process. And if you've done the work leading up to it, it's kind of a breeze, actually. And not only that, it gives you a lot of good insight into what you have to do. I've seen people put together outlines that are very detailed, and they realize that, oh, just my outline was 500 words or more. So I'm like a third of the way through my paper, and I haven't even actually started writing my paper yet. That's a good feeling. So feel free to put a lot of detail in there. But even if you don't, try to shoot for around, a sentence or 2 per bullet that I've got on this, and you'll be in good shape. That's all I've got for now. Of course, email me at mnorman@vinu.edu, and let me know if you have any questions.